The most expensive lesson in trading can be summed up in one line. Cut your losses short or your losses will cut your journey short. Yes, this is the hard reality of trading. 2 years back, I was scared to lose even 150 rupees in a single trade. Today my stop loss is 4500 and now I am planning to raise it to 17,000. That's how market hardens you. Slowly, painfully, but effectively. In this video, I am going to share how I got here and why I am planning to raise my stop loss even higher. Hello friends, my name is Saurabh. Welcome to my channel. Over the years, I have realized one thing. If you learn everything about the market from your own mistakes, it will cost you years of time and heavy monetary losses. That's why I always try to learn from others' mistakes. In my early days, I went through countless stories of successful traders, and almost everyone had the same twist, massive losses in their beginning. Not only that, driven by greed, they tried to recover their losses quickly by increasing their lot size and ended up in disaster. From their stories, I learned my first rule: protect your capital and start small. That's why my first video was about how I survived 1.8 years of trading with only 20,000 rupees capital. From my own journey, I discovered the next big rule, the one that can make or break a trader: mastering the stop loss. Alright, let me take you to my screen. I will show you everything step by step. My stop loss journey was not a straight line. Let me break down my journey into different phases so you can see how my trading evolved over time. Before jump into the phases, let me show you something important. I have made this PDF for you which contains my actual trade history. From my very first day, I made it a habit to take a screenshot of my every single trade. And these are the real screenshots captured on exact dates I made those trades. Here you can see my entry time, exit time, lot size, stop loss, everything. And without record like that, you can't go back and reveal your trades to learn from them. Just follow the PDF as we go through each phase. Let's start with phase 1 of my stop loss journey, that is option scalping without a plan. In my early days, I started my journey as an option scalper, but with zero structure. I never placed my stop loss in the system. Instead, I used to exit trades manually. In this phase, most trades ended almost as quickly as they began, sometimes under a minute. Let's look at the trade history from 16th May 2024. In my first trade, I entered at 956 and exited at 957, booking a profit of 3.55 points per unit. In the very next trade, I also exited in under a minute, but this time with a loss of 8.05 points per unit. Moving to the next trade, I booked a quick profit of 4.90 points per unit. But right after that, you can see here, I ended up with loss of 17.75 points per unit. In this phase, I simply chasing the market moves, just clicking buy or sell in the heat of the moment. So what did I learn from phase 1? Randomness often cost me more than it earned me. Now moving to phase 2, option scalping with 150 rupees stop loss. After going through the chaos of phase 1, I realized I need some structure. So I introduced my first proper rule, a fixed stop loss of 150 rupees per trade. Now let's look at my trade history from 3rd July 2024. In the first trade, I entered at 430 and exited at 420, booking a loss of 10 points per unit. At that time, Bank Nifty's lot size was 15, so my total loss came to 150 rupees. In the next very trade, my entry was at 392.20 and exit at 382.20, leading to a second consecutive loss of 150 rupees. This rule gave me a sense of control, but the problem is right after I hit my stop loss, market would reverse and go in my direction without me in the trade. Let's move to the learning point of phase 2. A fixed SL brought discipline to my trading. Now coming to phase 3, option buying with 225 rupees stop loss. After phase 2, I realized my trades needed more breathing space. So I increased my stop loss from 150 rupees to 225 rupees. That means I moved my stop loss from 10 points to 15 points. Now let's look at my trade history from 27 September 2024. I entered the trade at 9:45 and exited at 10:57. This time I held the position for over an hour, unlike my earlier quick exits. My entry price was 160.50 and I exited at 145.10, booking a loss of 15.4 points per unit. With a lot size of 15, that means a total loss of 231 on this trade. Now let's talk about the learning point of phase 3. Giving trades extra time prevents premature exits. Let's move to phase 4, directional option selling with logical stop loss. In this phase, I moved away from my fixed monetary stop loss and started using a more logical approach. I started placing stop loss on the basis of chart pattern and price actions. This means my stop loss became variable. Sometimes 15 points per unit, sometimes 30 points per unit, depending on market structures. Now let me share an example from 18th November 2024. In my first trade, I hit a stop loss of 12.65 points, resulting in a loss of 189.75. In the very next trade, my stop loss was 32.5 points, which caused a loss of 487.5 rupees. For this, you can see how my stop losses changed according to the market. Sometimes small, sometimes larger, depending on the chart pattern and price actions. Now coming to the learning point of phase 4. This approach gave me a higher number of winning trades compared to the losses. Now we are at phase 5, option hedger with 3000 rupees stop loss. In this phase, I shifted my strategy once again. And becoming an option hedger, I set a much wider stop loss of 3000 per trade. Now coming to our trade from 2nd May 2025, I sold 55400 PE at 1027.85 rupees and exited at 1127.90 rupees. That means I hit almost 100 point stop loss. Since the lot size was 30, the trade resulted in a total loss of almost 3000. So what did I learn from phase 5? This approach made me confident, but market still demands a bigger stop loss. And finally, we arrived at phase 6, option hedger with 4500 rupees stop loss. In this phase, I further increased my stop loss to 4500 rupees while continuing as an option hedger. For example, on 18 July 2025, I sold 56500 PE at 476.85 rupees but had to exit at 605 rupees, resulting in a loss of 4485 because the Bank Nifty lot size had increased to 35. Now coming to the learning point of phase 6. As a hardcore intraday option seller, till now I feel this stop loss works well for me. Currently, I am testing with 4500 rupees stop loss in live market. As soon as I become an option hedger, I started becoming a profitable trader. But honestly, my tax and brokerage charges were quite high. After adopting this style, I realized most successful option sellers make their profit by holding positions overnight, which means taking overnight risk. So now I am getting ready to switch to positional option selling. For this, I will need to give the market much more room to move. As a result, I am planning to increase my stop loss to 500 point. That means if my stop loss get hit, I would have to book a loss of 17,000 per trade. Till now my journey is crystal clear to me. I don't know what will happen next. But I am ready to accept whatever challenges come to me. Because growth comes from facing the storm, not avoiding it. And always keep in mind, stop loss is not a sign of weakness. It is a decision to fight another day. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.